I am so excited to share with you why I'm flipping the classroom. What is flipping? Well, in a traditional classroom, I found that I spent 30 to 40 minutes on a lesson, standing in front of the classroom, teaching to the students all at one time. I had a couple students who got it the first 10 minutes and the rest of the lesson, they're bored. I had several students who in the middle of the lesson, about 20-25 minutes, they're watching, they're following along, completing the examples with me. And then the rest of the lesson, they start doodling. And then I found that a few of my students, after 40 minutes of a lesson, I couldn't get quite through to them, and they just became frustrated. They needed a small group remediation or a one-on-one remediation. That left 10 minutes or sometimes less of practice in class. Then I sent my students home for 10 to 15 minutes of practice at home. Sometimes they understood the material, these students. Sometimes they're so frustrated they didn't even try, so then they get in trouble for not completing their homework. Well, in the flipped classroom, now we flip that homework time is now going to become my lesson. So students will spend 10 to 15 minutes at home watching a video of me. Their teacher has now become a movie star, and taking notes on that material. Then we'll have 40 to 50 minutes in class left over for application, creating, and publishing. This creates a huge window of time for my classroom, for my students to now apply their knowledge. What will it look like? Well, again, in a traditional model classroom, the teacher stands in front, the students absorb it. These two students might be talking to one another because they're bored out of their minds. Or these students up here, because they're close enough to the teacher, they're following along, doing the examples, and I spend most of my time just giving information, spoon feeding, and they don't have a lot of time to work on this information and on the problem solving on their own. So in my flipped classroom, my students will now have a self-paced video where they can push play after dinner, before soccer practice, or after soccer practice, or in the morning while they're eating breakfast. It's their choice. They can push play. If their brother or sister comes up to them and starts yelling in their face, they can push pause. Or let's say they just didn't quite understand what I just said, they can push pause and then replay the video. They can push replay as many times as they would like. So this student is alone, one-on-one tutorial with me. I get to sit down one-on-one with each student, just like I'm doing right now. Just like I have a tripod, a camera right here in my house, and I get to sit one-on-one with you and explain why I'm flipping my classroom. That leaves all of this time for class. My students then break off into groups of what their needs are. I get to meet their needs. And instead of standing in front of the classroom having my kids absorb the information, now they are living it. They are applying their knowledge. And they're working collaboratively, planning. They might be reading about the subject that they watched last night. They might be creating their own product or solving problems, researching more about that topic. And there will even be opportunities for students to publish their work and for students to make their own videos. What are the advantages of a flipped classroom? First, integrate technology. I am able to integrate the technology that is so closely watched by our students. Our students now not only read books, but they are constantly on the computer, watching TV, looking at YouTube, on their parents' smartphone. They often show me how to use the iPod better than I know how to. So I'm now coming to them and meeting their needs. It's very efficient and effective. This way of teaching, I condense my 40-minute lesson into a 10-minute video. So it is very efficient, and it allows so much more time for my students to have to apply their knowledge. It's effective because every student is met at their needs. It allows for differentiation. That student who didn't quite understand, well, they will be able to work on a project that will reinforce and remediate that topic. And the students who got it in the first video, in the first 10 minutes, they get to move on and be challenged with something new. Collaborations. Students will learn how to collaborate with one another. In the workplace, we have to collaborate as adults, so students need to learn those skills, how to talk, how to discuss problem-solving skills, how to collaborate together. Students are engaged, they're excited, they haven't been taught this way before, and their teacher is on a video. I mean, the students are so engaged, they want more. They're able to create, and they're then able to become a movie star with their product that they've created. And they're challenged constantly. Again, it's self-paced. They can pause, replay it as many times as they want. They can use it as a review tool when test time comes. It allows for more problem solving, application, and creativity. And again, it is making me a better teacher. I have taken my lessons that I've taught for years, and I have had to make them more precise. I have to make each lesson more precise and try to fit it into the 10-minute video. There are no distractions. I'm here alone. I'm not, oh, excuse me, you need to sit down. That is inappropriate. Oh, and then the intercom comes on. Can so-and-so come to the office? That's eliminated. I am now able to speak one-on-one with my students with zero distraction. Where can you learn more? If you want to learn more about flipped classrooms, I'm taking a training right now called the Friday Institute at www.fridayinstitute or fi.ncsu.edu/phys. Or you can go on my YouTube, which is Stevenson Flipped. And of course my email, stevensonmr@lcsedu.net. Now, you may ask, what are my expectations as the teacher? I have 4 expectations. Number 1, watch the video at home. I invite parents to watch the video with their students, to hold me accountable, to hold their student accountable, and to work collaboratively with their student to see what they're learning. Number 2, complete a viewing sheet, which may include notes, sample problems, or other things depending on the video for that night. Number 3, write down questions students have. I encourage students to write down questions so they can come to class and we can answer and discuss those questions first thing. And number 4, parent signature. In order to prove that your student did indeed watch the video, please sign their viewing sheet. If you do not have internet, there are many ways your student can watch the video. I can put it on a thumb drive. You can use your smartphone and show your student on your smartphone. The students before or after school, before school if they get to work the school early. You know, it's only a 10-minute video, so if they get there at 8:20, they have that whole 20 minutes from 8:20 to 8:40 before school starts to watch the video, replay it, take their notes. After school while they're waiting for their bus. The public library has free internet access, or as a last resort, the beginning of class. If something comes up as a last resort, you know, it's only a 10-minute video, so I'll allow my students to watch it at the beginning of class if necessary. Please email me, go onto the Friday Institute website, and learn more about flipped classrooms. I'm so excited to have your student in my class this year.